What is your damn I'm a badass moment? Chucked a piece of cardboard at a recycling bin at work. It was about 30 feet from me. A draft caught it and took it 40 feet up, and it did a double loop before slamming directly into the bin. One old lady saw and went woo. Felt like a fucking champion all day. I saved my husband's life using the Heimlich maneuver on the first try, never having done it before. Start of a lockdown, my dishwasher broke down and since shops were closed, I was looking at minimum 3 months of doing the dishes by hand. Fuck that. Went to YouTube, watched a bunch of videos. Took the pump apart and found a piece of broken glass, which was fucking it. My girlfriend took me.over to.meet her grandmother one day. She was a super nice lady, and while we were talking she said something about how she wishes her record player still worked because she just missed listening to her old album so much. I'd always been a big audio guy, so I asked if I could. I spent about 5 minutes working my magic and was able to make an old woman cry because she was so happy to hear the music she and her husband used to dance to again for the first time in years. I ended up marrying that girl, and when grandmother passed away, she had made sure that I got her old record player. I have a few moments that make me feel good about myself, but I'm going to talk about this because it happened when I was like 22, and it was one of my first time an adult, and I'm not half bad at it moments. Was driving back really late after hanging with some friends, like 2 in the morning. It's raining really hard and the roads are dangerously slick. Some guy, well, he just turns and slides onto the road ahead of me, going up this massive hill with a steep grade, and he isn't controlling his car well. I see him fishtail a couple times, but barely regain control. So I back way off and slow down. Not sure if he's drunk or it's just the rain, but I think to myself he's gonna lose it, and sure enough, when I round the next corner, there he is in the deep ditch. He is gunning the wheels and spewing mud and grass everywhere, but obviously can't get out like that, and I'm sure his adrenaline is wrecking any chance at slow rational thought because he just went over a tiny cliff. I pull over, get out in the rain, waving my arms to get him to stop, tell him what to do, go as slow as possible, angle the wheels the right way, but I notice his hand shaking and end up asking him to get out. I manage to get his car out of the ditch, but when I get out to give him back his keys, I see his whole body is visibly shaking from the shock. So I offer to give him a hug. We hug for what felt like 10 minutes, and he starts crying. It was probably only a minute. He isn't drunk, or it wasn't apparent, but he's clearly not up to drive. So when I thought he'd let most of it out, I asked where he lives. Just up the road a little way. I check that his car is up to drive for a bit. I tell him to get in and drive him to his place, walk him inside, and tell him to not drive until the next day, and to get his undercarriage checked. Walked back to my car in the rain and went home. Happy.